What's up, guys? We are setting up still for our live. We are doing some equipment tests on mainly these little guys. These are the I'm not sure what these things are called. Tethys night vision cameras. These are awesome. They're like 360-degree view. We have an interface here. Let me show you on the computer. I don't know if you can see that, maybe. On the computer here, once it refreshes everything, sometimes it takes a minute for the app to work. I don't really like the app. Start it back up again here. Anyway, once it pops up here, you'll see the camera list on the side over here, and then you'll see the live view whenever it decides it wants to pop up. Okay, hold on one second. I gotta put in the username and stuff again. For some reason it doesn't want to hold that. I don't know why. Okay, so as you can see, I hope you can see that. So we have Diane right there. So we're going to click play. And as you can see, this is the camera I'm looking at right now. And there's Diane. I have this one just set up on night vision. They'll do both, as you can see with the other camera here. So here is the other camera. As you can see, it's in full color. You can set them to just do night vision, whatever. I got this set to just do night vision. I've been kind of playing around with it. So that's one of the things that we're testing out here. So, you know, this is going to be like a little quick live. How you guys doing here? Swavey 442. I think I seen Zeneva, Pink Tinko 5. So how you guys doing? Once again, if you have any questions or whatever, feel free to ask. We'll hello, how you doing? Hello. We'll try to field them as quickly as we can here. Diane's messing around with the SOS camera, so we're setting everything up. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid the mess that we had last time. So we have a lot of equipment, and some of it is homemade, some of it is, you know, things like this here. And we don't really have a protocol as of yet. Like a checklist or whatever, as far as like when we get to a location, check. I'm usually the one that does a lot of that, and these guys will help me with it and everything. But so I'm trying to come up with a little more organization, and where our investigation is coming up in what, Diane, about a week or so?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay,
August
so
7th.
August 7th. So August 7th is when our investigation is, and it's going to be at the Opera House in McConnellsville. So we're looking forward to that, but I wanted to make sure that we have everything ready to rock and roll the minute we hit the door, so that way there's no more time of like just, you know, bouncing around doing whatever, setting everything up. She wants to know, did you make the SOS camera?
So I did not. I actually bought most of the equipment, but the assembly I had to assemble myself. So as you can see, that this is a Xbox camera Connect. This is a power bank that connects to the iPad, and then this is how you run your software through the Connect.
Actually, I don't think this is an iPad. Is this a Microsoft pad or whatever? This
it's
is
a Toshiba.
Does it work off Microsoft or is it Android? Or?
It's got Windows 10.
Okay. All right. So yeah, there you go. It's a very cool little tool. We've used it on, what, a couple investigations now?
Yes. The biggest thing I want to try and do is try and figure out what we can do to actually record the videos on here, because we have not yet tried to set this up. We have been using just the camera to record everything that's going on the screen, so we're just trying to figure out how to actually get the videos to save onto the tablet here.
Right. Very cool. That's my next purchase. Yeah, I mean, it's Diane was actually the one that bought it here, but I mean, we're still learning how to use it and what to do with it, but so far it's amazing. I mean, we've gotten some decent stuff. We got a video coming up in here soon at the graveyard of Peter Post and his family. Kind of goes along with our Post Town investigation, and we got some cool stuff on there. So that was the second time I think that we've gotten something on there. So yes, that was actually pretty cool to see. So it's really interesting. I mean, there's a little bit of a learning curve. It's not, you know, as pick up and go as you would think, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh yes.
Of course,
recording would be nice.
Yeah.
definitely. That's one of my next biggest things I want to try and test out and figure out before this investigation, so that way we have a backup from the actual camera recording the whoever's investigating, and we can actually have the video files saved on here as well. It would be very nice to have both.
Yeah, and so some of what we're doing here, for example, I started up a little series on YouTube on our channel, just kind of answering some of the questions that we've been asked. We've been asked a lot of times, like, what about probing and how do you build stuff and blah, 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 blah. So we're trying to address some of those things because we're kind of group that we're not going to keep secrets. That's kind of foolish. If the community is going to grow, we love helping out. We love, sharing our knowledge, things that we've done, built, whatever. So we're trying to, get the right information out there for people that might just be starting, or maybe you're an established group that you don't know how to do X, Y, Z. Well, we don't mind helping. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of what we're doing here today too. So if you guys have any questions related to any of our equipment that you've seen in the past, or if you haven't seen anything and you just interested about something that we may or may not have, just ask away. We have no problems, kind of trying to field the questions. So some of the things that we're going to eventually do, this is one thing I want to kind of announce on this, is these little guys here have been working out phenomenally. I actually bought a second one, which I have it sitting over there. You can't really see it. But they work on Ethernet or Wi-Fi. The bad thing is they have to be plugged into a power source. We have separate power sources that we could set, down pretty much in any location. But then we're stuck with the Wi-Fi signal or the cord. So we're trying to make it a little, plug and play, drop and just go kind of thing. And it's getting better. We're getting a little more proficient at how to set them up and, places and areas and stuff that they work the best at and that kind of thing. But eventually what I want to do is, for example, on the app here. So this is the app for the computer. Let's go back to where Diane's at. So we call this our night vision camera 1. As you can see, we got Joe here, kind of crazy. But I was turning around here. Anyway, so you can see that this is easily accessed, and we have a guest mode on here as well. Now, I hit the Bixby button, my bad. So, eventually what I would like to do with these right here is I want to get to a point where I can set up a guest network, and once we get proficient enough in it to where I feel like it's not going to be problems, I want to start inviting people to kind of join in on the investigation. I can give them an IP address, a login, whatever it takes, and then they can actually view a little bit about what we view as we're investigating. So it's also very nice. Jason Voorhees. Sorry, we're just doing a quick live here. I don't mean to cut you off there, Jason Voorhees. What we're doing here is we're just kind of like testing things out. We're not really looking to have like a long session here. So if you have any questions or whatever, please just put it in the chat because I can look at that later if I miss it for some reason. Because sometimes the chats get kind of long and they start, people start asking lots of questions, which I don't mind. Ask away. So one thing that we have not incorporated yet that I wanted to, where's it at? Right here. So we got a couple things that we've been working on.
Where did you say I could plug this in?
There's a little outlet right over here. Just try not to unplug anything. Should be the first one right there you can plug into. Okay. So there's a couple things here that we've been working on. I've really been trying very hard to get this guy up and running. It's a little night vision camera that I have built out of a Raspberry Pi Zero. And it's really cool, except for the fact that it's stuck in a boot loop at the beginning. It acts like it doesn't have internet access. It wants an Ethernet connection, Ethernet, whatever. And this doesn't have, as you can see, it's a Raspberry Pi Zero W, which means it's wireless. It doesn't even have a Ethernet connection on it. So that's one thing. Another thing that we've been working on, this is still kind of very much in the early stages. This guy right here is I don't know if you can hear that, but this is a music box. And I have a little motor here sitting to the side. I've got a bunch of reduction gears and things like that. And I like building stuff, so That's kind of my forte here. And I've also got several other motors that, bigger, smaller, whatever. And the idea is I'm going to put a motion sensor on this so that when something disrupts the EMF field or whatever, then it will start playing the music, kind of creepy like. So I figured that would be kind of cool to add to our arsenal, just something to kind of play around with. But that's not up and running yet either. I've run into some snags on it with power supply and wiring, and obviously I haven't built the case yet. I do a lot of 3D printing myself, and I sell things on my Etsy store. So sometimes I get kind of busy with custom work, but my idea is to actually 3D print something to case that around. Dan, can you give me that blue case over there? Show them the big blue case. Yeah. Yep. So this one right here. If I can get it all apart here.
Sounds like you were struggling.
Yeah, a little bit. So this is a 3D printed case that I made. It's just a generic housing, and basically what I'm going to have like a USB connector here to where a power supply or something can go in there. Maybe a camera or some other equipment or whatever here, lights or whatever, maybe an EMF or REM pod, whatever. I was originally trying to create an Ovilus, but I have not come up with a good alternative for for the software, because they lock all that stuff down, and I like to use things like Raspberry Pi, open source stuff, Linux, type binary stuff or whatever, and it's easy to figure out. It's also easy for me to explain to somebody, here, this is how you do it, this is what you would do, this is how you build this, whatever, and then they can in turn pick it up, build one themselves, and go have some fun, see what you see on the other side. I really enjoy doing stuff like that, but I'm having trouble finding the software that I'm looking for, because the stuff for the Raspberry Pi is usually written Debian, which isn't a problem, but there's not a lot of support for some of the things that I've seen that I actually like. So eventually I might get something like that up and running, but so to focus on what we're coming here for today, number one is the cameras. Squeeze back down.
Sorry.
Got a couple more things here too. Hold on. So this is a EDI Plus data logger. This thing is badass. My wife had actually got this for me, and what it does is it will record your temperature, pressure, barometric pressure, humidity. It's a geophone. It measures EMF and milligauss. You can mark it. It's got, like you turn the displays off and on, vibrating feature, or you can, just record it on the SD card. Now, when it's recorded on the SD card, it spits it out in a format of like an Excel sheet. At this time, this happened. This pressure went up or down or whatever. This temperature went up or down, or the geophone went off, and this is the marks that we got on it. Very, very useful tool. I really, really love this. So I'm basically just kind of like going over and making sure everything's working on this as well. Everything should be, minus the batteries. I think maybe the batteries might be out in this. So let's check it out and see. The only thing I don't like is the case on it. It's kind of hard to get off. Do we even put batteries in this? We got some batteries.
I do have some batteries.
I just want to check and make sure everything.
What do you need?
Just 3 double A's if you got them. So, kind of.
Let's see. I got
put it on you for a minute.
Oh yay! Spotlight on me.
Yeah, why not?
I guess this is also a good reason why to test your equipment too before an investigation. One of my blocks is shot, so my SLS camera is not charging right now. So this block has had issues in the past, so I definitely need to get a new block.
Just give me 2. I got one over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's all powered up. And you can cycle through the different modes. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta put the card in. My bad. So you can cycle through the different modes here. Let's see. Okay, so when you hit display, like right now it's measuring the temperature. You hit display again, and it goes down here to the EMF. Again, you're back up here, your pressure, your humidity, and your temperature. So it just cycles through, and then you can hit the record button, and obviously you can see, like, if we cycle through enough, we'll go to the vibration. Let's see, as soon as I find it here. Oh, hold on, I gotta figure out. Oh, there it is, right there. You hit vibe. So when you hit vibe, see how it's real easy? It measures footsteps. What are your pronouns? What do you mean? Pronouns?
Yeah, like your he, she.
Huh?
He, she. Are you he or she? You are he.
I am he.
It's a very common question in today's changing world, Father.
My bad. But anyway, and then you have a speaker on here as well. I'm not sure what the speaker's for. Have we used the speaker part before? I'm not sure.
I don't think we have.
So this one works, and you would just power it off by holding the power. It should go off. There we go. I'll give you your batteries back. I don't want to leave batteries in here because they go dead really quick. Okay, so what other things did you want to check, Diane? I got a couple more things, but...
Well, I was trying to check the SLS camera, and this is also why you always want to check your equipment. This block is bad, so I need a new block. Because otherwise the SLS camera would be charged.
There you go.
Always check all your equipment before investigation, especially if something's not charging or your cords are bad, because, things do wear out over time. But the good news is I have now figured out how to record and save on the SLS camera, so we can get the actual files off of here.
Okay. So this is my first REM pod that I made. Homemade, obviously. So attach the antenna to it. And it's kind of loose in here, so that's one thing I'll be doing today is I'm going to tighten this up. But basically you get close to it or you touch it or whatever, it makes a sound, very simple. Another thing that I want to check here, this right here is our EM pump. It's an electromagnetic pump. Now, we haven't used this very often, and reason being is because this thing, it's kind of a pain the way that I built it. I'm not exactly happy with the way that I put everything together, but this is one of my first builds, so I wasn't expecting anything great and fantastic. But as you can see, I got the battery secured to the lid. Basically, I just have a motor in here with magnets, and what that does is with the magnet and spring in there, it creates a magnetic field. And the idea is you're charging up the air or the energy, making energy in the room or whatever for something to manifest. So I'm going to kind of, okay, that is dead, so we're going to have to charge this battery for sure, or we can swap it out. I don't know if I have anything to swap it out with. Probably just charge it as soon as I find my charger. So I will.
What kind of battery do you need?
It's a charger.
Oh, it's a charger.
My little RC stuff here, but I forget where the charging thing is here because I've got so many things made. I kind of just throw stuff everywhere, guys. So this is that is switch. HP. So I can check the cells on it, I guess. See if it's. Yeah, it's definitely dead. Oh, wait a minute. It's got 73%. Why ain't that working? Okay.
Another good reason for equipment checking.
So let's find out why this daggone thing ain't working. Yes, I said daggone. I said daggone back.
Oh boy. Don't start. No. Don't listen to him. No.
Alright, so for some reason that does not want to power on.
Don't like you.
Me?
Yeah.
Everybody likes me.
I kind of halfway do.
Hates Chris.
Oh.
Alright, so I'm gonna rob something from my cars here. See if, because they got the same batteries. See if maybe it's a battery issue. So, just want to see if it works. I know it looks, ghetto, but I will take care of that. If it's a bad battery, I got time to get one. You know what I mean?
Or is it just you?
It's not coming up. I wonder if the switch is bad. Okay, so we have another issue. Motor locked up? That is weird. Okay, let me get this out of the way then, because we know it's not that. Put this little guy back up. Okay, so today's to-do list. Fix this guy if we want to use him. Alright, and let's check out this guy here. This is the one that just makes the noise, right? Or the light.
Light thing.
So these are pretty cool. I actually bought these off of Etsy from a guy. I really like them. They're not as great as I thought they would be, but they still, as you can see, they're not. Man, something's still shortening out. I don't like that.
You want to try a different battery, or is it?
I don't know if it's the wire or the battery or what. I think it might be the wire. It's a copper wire, but it's painted. And sometimes when they paint these wires, it's, So.
We're doing some equipment testing, Kansas hunting.
Okay.
For a big investigation.
Let's check out the other one because we have two of these. So let me go and grab the other one. God, I can't get this thing in there. Why is that stuff in there?
This is a brand new one. If you want to try, or if you want me to try.
No, this is. Oh shit! That ain't coming out of there. Wow. Shouldn't be sticking like that. Yeah, but I was trying not to tear the damn lead up. See how it's all jacked up?
You're jacked up.
Alright, so...
What kind of equipment was that you have in your hand?
This is just a... I think this is just called a EMF or EM detector. Like a ghost detector or whatever. I think is what they actually called it when I bought it. Okay, now this one works a lot better. See, as you can see, the harder you touch it, the more the light comes on. So that's Kansas hunting. What kind of equipment is that? Yeah, this is a. Let me see if I can pull up the actual thing for you. I think they just call it a ghost box or something. So I don't like to give the wrong name here, so let me just look real quick. There we go. Yeah, I love kids.
Can't live with them, can't live without them, huh?
No, that's right.
Yes, we do. We actually have an upcoming investigation August 7th. It's the Twin City Opera House in McConnellsville, Ohio. And then after that investigation on Sunday, August 8th, we're going to the Moonville Tunnel. So yes, we do actually go on investigations.
Yeah, so when we get out like that and we have time to do both, we'll try to do more than one at a time. We'll try to mix in a couple outdoors or an indoor and outdoor because we love doing outdoor stuff anyway. Nobody does it. Anything that's kind of unique, we like to do. We still like to do the big ones too, but nobody does stuff like that, and it's it's just as important as everything else, you know. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let me find this thing. Okay, so this thing right here is called an EMF ghost detector. Let me get the screen right here. So hopefully you can see that right there. It's EMF ghost detector, $7.99, and you know nothing, very expensive. And they work pretty good, but they're a little bit on the delicate side. I wish they were a little more hardy.
Well, learn how to be delicate.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm lighting him up today.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. That's what happens when you don't see your kid for a while. I guess she decided that she's gonna, run the roost on you.
I just seen you yesterday.
Well, still, that's not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, there's a couple different things I want to do with this thing. So, you guys hire of the Haunted Side group. They heard of the Haunted Side group. They do. What is TSG hunting also? Oh. What is TSG? I don't know what TSG is.
Guys heard of the Haunted Side group? They do.
What is TSG hunting? We're waiting for Kansas hunting to respond to that one. We don't know what TSG hunting is. We're just or THSG. This is our near infrared camera that I hacked years ago. Basically, it's got a different filter in there. I think I'm going to take all that out because I figured out a better way to make these infrared. So I will be making a what is video on that couple months or maybe next month or whatever. Whenever I get around time to do this, I personally run 2 channels. I run E.V.P.S Paranormal, and then obviously you can see in the background all the RC stuff. I run Crack 3D RC. So I have a couple different things that I do. I build stuff for both, and a lot of fun for me. But sometimes I don't have a lot of time to bounce back and forth. So
is the haunting side like a paranormal group?
Are they local Kansas hunting? We're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh yeah, where are they out of? Out of Minnesota. I haven't heard of them, but I'll definitely be looking for them now. But no, I haven't actually heard of them now. That don't. I mean, there's so many groups I haven't heard of anyway. There's a lot of groups that are out there that are good that don't get much exposure, which is why I personally like to kind of give them whatever exposure I can, because there's a lot of groups that really deserve some credit and do some fantastic work. Some of the groups, also when they get kind of big, they kind of like to make flashy things and kind of over exaggerate things. I'm talking about stuff like ghost hunters and stuff. As much as I love those kind of groups, they also kind of get on my nerves because after a certain point, they get to a point where it's just too fantastic, and part of the show is they over exaggerate what they do capture, and they get fantastic stuff. But I've always been a person to, this is your biggest and best tool. Your second biggest and best tool nowadays, I would say, would be, as soon as I can get it out here, would be this. Just your generic phone, whether it be an iPhone,
or
Apple, whatever.
Even this, just a digital just voice recorder right here. You don't have to have all the fancy mumbo jumbo gadgets. Now I have an SLS camera. It's nice and all, but
yeah, we're just now getting stuff like this. We've been kicking around since 2008, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and that's as a group. Now we've been kind of messing around with it a little bit before then, me personally, but so as a group we've been around about that long, and we're just now getting some of the fancier equipment, which is nice, and we really enjoy messing around with them, but they're not necessary. I mean, they just make things a little bit easier and nicer to kind of prove what you're trying to show people, because some people say, well, it's a bump, you've got somebody hiding somewhere, you got some switch or something that you hit. And no, I mean, that's one thing that we try to do. We try to show all our evidence, even though we have a goofy side. So we try to show everything that we can without making the videos and stuff super long. So we try to show what we can to where everybody can see, that what we're presenting there is actual legit evidence. At least, as far as we can tell. Now, having said that, there's a couple things that me personally, I've been kind of like, I guess you would say, wowed by here recently. One of them has been the Necrophonic app. So what do you think about the Necrophonic app, Diane?
So I was actually a little skeptical about the Necrophonic app at first because it's an app. Let's just be real. But there have been things that have come over on the Necrophonic app, such as when we went and did our post-town investigation, there was baby cooing sounds and baby laughter, and there was a baby that actually survived the train accident that happened around that very same land, and that to me right there kind of sort of proves its validity a little bit. I know that you had a very eerie experience with the Necrophonic app about my grandfather's name coming over the Necrophonic app. I was not there on that investigation, so he probably could tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so what happened on that one, you'll look at, what was it, Hughes 2 or Hughes 1?
It was like Hughes Revisited or Hughes 2,
so
something like that.
One of our best investigations that we've done is the Hughes School. And the Hughes School is a place that we've been to many, many times. For us, we've gotten a lot of data there. We've captured a lot of really cool things. We've had some perplexing things, what have you. So Hughes School, we did a revisited thing there because we hadn't been there for years. And when we revisited the place, we had a lot of activity. And this time, instead of it being a playful kind of an energy, it was more of a, it kind of felt a little darker. And what I mean by that was, the first time that we were there, a lot of the energy was centered around my son Alex, which he's also in the group. He does a lot of our video editing, and this time it was also centered around him, but it felt darker. It felt like something else. And you have to see what I'm talking about. You have to watch the video to understand what I mean. It was just one of those things that's just kind of odd. So when I was running a necrophonic session, I was walking in the parking lot between, there's two schools. There's Liberty School and there's Hughes School. Hughes School is a one-room schoolhouse that's on the historic record in Liberty Township? Liberty Township, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's Liberty Township.
Which is like Westchester area here in the Cincinnati area. And it kind of shares a parking lot. Yeah, it shares a parking lot, doesn't it? Yeah, it shares a parking lot. Anyway, so I'm walking in the parking lot there, just kind of running a session while everybody was over by the pump, and I got some names on there. Like my father had just recently passed, and his name was Marty, and nobody in my family, at least my side of the family, had used that name in years. His wife used the name, and maybe some of his friends, but this wasn't a guy that had a lot of friends, especially that came over and did a lot of stuff with him. He was kind of like a loner kind of a guy, like a wild man kind of thing. That's the best way I can describe it. Like a woodsy kind of guy or whatever. But he wasn't real, I won't say he wasn't friendly, but he didn't have like a lot of friends that come over and visit him. So the name never really popped up, at least around any of our equipment. So there's no way it could have recorded anything or caught something, like a listening device. Or there's no way. I mean, as a matter of fact, the phone I was using was an old phone that just got wiped, and I just put the Necrophonics app on there. So it was really odd to have his name come through, my name, my son Alex's name, my niece Hope, my daughter Diane, and my brother Gary Wayne. Those are all members of my paranormal group.
And I was actually not there at that particular investigation either.
Yes. So she wasn't even there, and all this stuff came through. Most of what we had, we tried to keep it on camera. But there was, trust me, there's a lot more that we didn't put in the video because it's just kind of like mundane at that point, over and over and over again. But you'll see what I mean if you go back and watch some of our videos on YouTube. If anybody's interested, it's youtube.com/c/EVPS Paranormal. Give us a like, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel over there. Instagram, TikTok. You guys have been amazing. For everything that we do. So we're still trying to grow the YouTube. YouTube is kind of like one of those enigma kind of things that's hard to get going on because they constantly mess with the algorithms and all that jazz. So eventually we'll figure that one out there, but it's kind of silly right now, to say the least. But anyway, if you watch some of those videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. And then we've used it a couple times at Post Town. We've used it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we used it at the Peter Post grave, but yeah. Did we use it there?
I think we mostly did digital voice recording because we were mostly doing the lives at the Mount Pleasant Cemetery investigation, and we were basically using the digital voice recorder, which we are going to start trying to incorporate more, just for the simple fact I'm trying to do a live EVP review, because that's always nice too, just doing the bare basics as well.
Good evening, popping by to say hi, Susie Bell, paranormal fan. Thank you, we appreciate it. Hello, how are you doing? So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing tonight, and you'll see some of our videos here. We have ones that are that we have some really compelling things on that's not really easily explained. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that's kind of all I had to go over here. Did you have anything else to go over, Diane?
No, I think that's pretty much everything. Definitely going to test out all my equipment and make sure that I replace this block. That's always a good idea, to replace everything before you go on an investigation, especially as big as the one we're about to do at Twin City Opera House. And the Moonville Tunnel will be the next day as well. That's about all I got.
Alright, so with that, I'm actually going to work on the EM pump here and get everything rolling here on this guy, figure out if maybe I got to change out the motor or something in here. I don't know. Figure all that stuff out. And hopefully it'll be ready for the investigation. If not, you'll see it coming up again here soon. If anybody has any questions or anything, you can always send us the email to evpsparanormal1@gmail.com. Pop in on any of our videos on YouTube or even Instagram and TikTok, our Facebook as well. Diane runs our Facebook, and we've gotten quite a few followers and stuff on there as well. So that community's growing as well. We have a pretty decent presence on SoundCloud, but we're still working through some of that. Alex has actually taken on the task of cleaning a lot of that stuff up because we didn't have like playlists and stuff like that made out. So we're still working on some of that stuff, but there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us. If you have questions, you need help with something, or even if you want to do like a collaborative or whatever, we're out of the Cincinnati area. We're always interested. And as long as we can get people together, you never know, we may help you out as well. So I think for what I'm doing here today, these are working great. I don't see any problems with it. It's pretty easy to power up. You plug them in, you go. The only thing I'm going to have to do when we get to the Opera House is connect into the Wi-Fi network. So I have to reset these again, which there's a reset button on the back right there. So I have to reset them again. And when I reset them, I can actually put in the new Wi-Fi information. So with that, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I appreciate all the questions and the interaction. It's been fun. We plan on doing more stuff with TikTok anyway, so I like the live format on here as well. It seems to run really well. Same as Instagram. Both of them seem to run really well. So next time that you'll probably see us on the live will be at the Opera House. We plan on doing several there, and just look for the next video coming up, which should be the Peter Post grave, I do believe. I think it comes out here in a couple weeks. I don't know. Just stay tuned for the YouTube channel. I do believe that's here in a couple weeks. Maybe the Friday before our investigation on the 7th. It's either that Friday or the following Friday. I'm sorry, I don't have the date in front of me, or I would tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and end this now. And again, if you guys have any questions, whatever, just get a hold of us, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks everybody for stopping out. We appreciate it.